Lady C, I wanted to refer you specifically to Maureen Callahan, who is a columnist now with the Mail, but she was previously with the New York Post. And she is warning in a new column that she thinks Harry and Meghan are separating publicly. And she's warning that such humiliation may spur Meghan to go truly nuclear. So do you think their marriage is at a stage where it's that bad?
Well, Dan, my understanding of what she said is what I have been saying for some time now,
Yes.
that they were advised to go their separate ways professionally. He would take the royal route, she would take the celebrity route. And that but they need the royal link. I think that's sort of what she's saying, unless I'm mistaken. I don't think she's actually saying that they are separated as a couple. But my understanding is that the marriage is extremely rocky. And they say once hunger comes in through the window, love goes out through the door. And okay, Harry's got himself another 7 or 8 million, which will last for a short while. But I mean, that's not real money, and that's not money the way they live. And they have billionaires, they have a billionaire's lifestyle on a mere millionaire's income. Their annual income would require them to have between $500 and $600 million. He's only worth about 40 million. So do the math. I mean, they are spending what in effect is the totality of his worth. It's insanity. It's unsustainable. But will she go nuclear? Let her try to, because nobody believes a word out of her mouth now. So even if she spoke the truth, which she wouldn't know the meaning of it, if the truth hit her on her face, she'd think it was a fly or maybe a crab.
All right, let's start with the biggest question. What exactly are Meghan and Harry hiding? Lady Colin Campbell, who has deep royal connections, is saying that Meghan and Harry's biggest secrets are at risk of being leaked. This could be anything from hidden financial struggles to shocking behind-the-scenes drama. Meghan has spent years carefully curating her image. Could this be the moment the facade crumbles? And if this happens, how will Meghan respond? At this point, the Sussexes have made a career out of controlling the narrative. From the Oprah interview to the Netflix series, they have carefully crafted their us versus the monarchy story. But now cracks are starting to show, and their big secret might finally break them.
Yeah, because we'll
No.
see what Maureen Callahan is essentially saying a lot of what you have previously said. But she has said the time has come to gather, stand in our strength, find our voices, speak our truth, and brace for impact because Meghan may be about to go nuclear. Now, she says it's because Harry isn't happy and he's done the unthinkable this week, traveling to and participating in events surrounding the UN General Assembly, all without Meghan. They say some have said she is too sick to join, but Maureen Callahan says it must be frustrating for a woman who thrives in any spotlight, who will accept any award, no matter how meaningless, even if she must enter through a rental car office to collect it. But it might also be true that Harry, famously called thick by his own mother, is finally catching on. And he doesn't look happy, Lady C, at the
No,
moment. And he
I
hasn't for
gather
some
he's
time.
not happy. I gather he's not happy, and he's not been happy for some time. And, I think the scales are falling off his eyes. But to an extent, at the moment, he's trapped. And, they have big secrets that are in danger of being exposed. So, and he's totally complicit in much of what has gone on. So it's not going to be that easy to dismantle. And if she goes ballistic, what's she going to say? What's she going to say? I mean, is she going to say, oh, well, they forced me. They forced me to pretend I was pregnant. Is that what she's going to say? Or and they did it because they didn't want people of colour in the royal family. Well, Gerald Lascelles is married. I think it's Gerald is married to anyway. The present Lord Howard's brother is married to a black woman. The Duke of Gloucester's daughter married somebody who was either Maori or Aborigine. I don't remember which one. Gary Lewis is his name. They have 2 children.
I mean,
Diana
I guess
had Indian blood, as I am the person who revealed it in my first book. And then about 30 years later, or 25 years later, the Times of India plastered it on its front page after Prince William gave his DNA to prove that Eliza Keogh was an Anglo-Indian who was Ruth Gill's, I think, great-grandmother. So they have, and then, of course, there is Queen Charlotte, who was 6 times descended from Madrigana of Pharaoh, who was an African. So, I mean,
and who
to say
Bridgerton
that
is
they
based
are
on.
purely Caucasian is ludicrous. But,
Yeah.
but let's see what anything she comes up with at this stage, I don't think is credible.
I mean, did you find it credible, the PR that was going around Harry's trip? I mean, look at this headline, for example. Prince Harry FaceTimed Meghan Markle, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet before taking to the stage with Diana Award winners in New York. I mean, that just feels like more PR to me.
And folks, how much longer can they keep running from the truth? Now let's talk about one of the biggest red flags. Money. Lady C just exposed that Harry and Meghan's finances are unsustainable. They have a billionaire lifestyle. But Harry is reportedly only worth around $40 million. And with their level of spending, they would need at least $500 million to sustain it. And folks, this is a disaster waiting to happen. If their money runs out, how will Meghan react? Will she stay loyal to Harry? Or will she go nuclear and expose everything? And does Harry even realize how much financial trouble they could be in? At this rate, their lifestyle is unrealistic and something's got to give.
Yes. Well, they're showing how solid the marriage is, and he's a happy family man. And you know as well as I do, when people have to keep on showing how happy they are, it's usually because they're not, unless, of course, there are stories that have been planted by malicious in-laws, as happened with the Waleses, where so they've
but
had
there
to
are
address.
so many similarities, aren't there, to Charles and Diana in the early 90s when they were trying to say everything was okay, but they just looked so miserable. And Harry just seemed out of sorts in New York, Lady C. I wanted to show you this moment because he talks about the Jamaican government, but he just wasn't really engaged at all. It felt a bit like he's given up. I mean, Lady C, it's just total word salad.
It's insanity. It's rubbish. I mean, he's on the one hand saying there are so many problems that governments have to cope with, which there are, and they're usually coping very ineffectually, I have to say. And then he's on the other hand saying, but then you will bring in young people who are inexperienced and therefore might be able to have an opinion, but wouldn't necessarily have a solution. He wants them to be brought in to the decision-making process. I mean, the guy's a total idiot. I mean, if he'd ever run anything except his mouth, he'd know that it's not possible to have, if you're going to be running something, there has to be a leader. There has to be somebody who is the ideas person. And then, yes, you have people who are going to go along with you and help you, but you can't have endless input. It creates havoc. It doesn't create a solution. And the idea that governments should have young people telling it, it's so stupid. I mean, but he is stupid. Listen, this is a guy who at school could only pass words. He couldn't even pass his art exam. And believe me, nowadays, where you don't even have to do life drawing or anything, passing an art exam is so easy. A 2-year-old child would be able to be declared a genius with smudges and thing all over a canvas. And he couldn't even pass that. You know, it's offensive on a certain level. But there he is pontificating.
Oh, I know.
But what was interesting, Dan, was that Jamaican girl made some very good, interesting points in terms of the way where the world is heading now, in terms of political instability, of governments creating havoc and warmongering. I mean, she made some really good points, which I was totally in favor of. And of course, I was proud of my compatriot because she was so intelligent. But he's just an idiot, that man.
And now let's talk about the scariest part of Lady Colin Campbell's warning. Meghan might go nuclear if Harry wants out. What does going nuclear actually mean? Could she expose private royal secrets in a tell-all book? Would she go after Harry in a divorce battle? Could she even try to bring down the monarchy itself? And folks, this is what people fear the most. We've seen Meghan turn on her own family. Will Harry be next? If she feels like she's losing, how far will she go to control the narrative? And is this why Harry feels trapped? Because he knows she could destroy him? At this point, it's clear. Meghan is not going down without a fight.
Yes, that's the perfect way, I think, to sum up his New York trip. But Lady C, I want to talk to you about the other big story which has a royal connection this week. Mohammed Al Fayed, these explosive revelations from the BBC with multiple rape claims. For folk who don't know, Mohammed Al Fayed was, of course, the father of Dodi Al Fayed, who died in the Paris tunnel with Princess Diana, the owner of Harrods for many years. But they're pulling in a woman, Lady C, called Anne Coxon into this and seemingly trying to turn her almost into the Ghislaine Maxwell of the piece. And I believe you have a personal connection with her and some real insight into what the BBC are trying to do here. But first, it turns out the key to losing weight and keeping it off is not in carbs or fat or even probiotic-rich foods. No, the end game of having a healthy weight, as well as more energy and a long, healthy life, comes down to a specific switch you can flip in your body to flush out unnecessary calories. Dr. Stephen Gundry is calling this caloric bypass. And by activating this specific process in your body, he has seen thousands of people dramatically improve their health, even at age 50 and beyond. This includes losing weight, getting tons more energy, and returning to the good health that they had in their youth once they simply address this one key to better health. Not only that, this is actually associated with improved digestion, strong feeling joints and muscles, smoother skin, and healthier lives, meaning it could be the key to a happy life. Dr. Stephen Gundry has lost 70 pounds himself using his research and has kept the weight off for over 20 years and counting. His digestive issues are gone, his health is fantastic, and he feels younger and healthier today than he did in his 40s. His video has been watched by over 20 million people to date, and you can watch and learn more about it at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. It's linked at the bottom of this video on YouTube and Rumble, but he'll teach you exactly how he has kept his weight off for free at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. Click on the link in the description below the video.
I do. She's my private GP, and she is an extremely eminent member of the medical profession. I won't even dragging half the names in the medical profession as well as her patients. I mean, it is absolutely outrageous, in my view, that the BBC can be, and they've mounted this as a deflection campaign because they knew Hugh Edwards had to plead guilty. they have had a series of scandals, all of which they have managed to dampen down. There was the Jimmy Savile matter. Then there was the Martin Bashir matter, where Martin Bashir practically drove the already troubled Diana to insanity. And I mean, literal insanity, because she ended up being paranoid in the medical sense of the word, gratis his lies. Not only did they know about this, but they covered it up for 25 years. They destroyed the career of the person who originally complained about it. I'm saying artist because I don't know the technological terms.
Yeah, he was like the graphic designer,
who,
wasn't he? Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yes. He's the one who did at their behest, thinking they were genuine. He did the mock-ups of the he.
And now let's ask the biggest question. What happens next? The walls are closing in on Meghan and Harry. Their finances are in trouble. Their marriage is reportedly rocky. And their carefully controlled PR strategy is falling apart. So where does this leave them? Will Meghan really go nuclear if Harry tries to leave? Is Harry realizing he made a huge mistake? And will the royal family be forced to step in and protect themselves? At this point, it's just a matter of time before the truth comes out. Meghan and Harry's big secret is at risk of exposure. So what happens next? Is Harry trapped in a marriage he regrets? Will Meghan really go nuclear? And if so, what will she reveal? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.